7:51 right now. Dr. John Paul Tutela is a board-certified plastic surgeon based in East Hanover, New Jersey, a third-generation physician. He grew up just blocks from where he now practices. Great area. I love East Hanover. Hey, we'll talk about our favorite bakery if we can, Doc. Known for his natural results and work with celebrities, he recently opened T-Spa, blending surgical and non-surgical treatments in a relaxed modern space. Dr. Tutela joins us to talk summer skincare, aesthetic trends, and what patients are really asking for right now. Good morning. If you're in East Hanover and you've been there for generations, there's only one bakery in town that everybody goes to.
Sorrento.
Of course. The owner is a good buddy. I do the Columbus Day parade every year there. So it's a
Oh,
what a
that's
wonderful
fantastic.
town you live. It is the best. I'm sorry, I'll do the Italian digression if I don't stop. Dr. Tella, God bless you. And you're a third generation physician with deep roots, of course, in New Jersey. So what a beautiful, I love the logo back there. It's gorgeous. What inspired you to open T Spa? And how would you say it's different from the typical quote unquote plastic surgery office?
Yeah. So, as my practice was growing, just needed more space, and that kind of just started everything. And I realized I was going to kind of bring in a lot of the med spa world into my own practice. And there really wasn't a location to go to where you could be certain everything was vetted. This is my plastic surgery office and a med spa, board certified plastic surgeon, really running the show. And there's been, a lot of med spas that have been opening up lately, and you're not really certain who's calling the shots, who's in charge, what kind of training they've had. So I kind of wanted to create something that, took that question out of it and made it very obvious that you were in the right place for this kind of care.
I have to ask you, Doc, because I've seen online. I do this research. We did a story when I was still at Channel 7 a few years ago of Chinese knockoffs of these machines, many of the machines you use in the med spas, right?
Sure.
Chinese knockoffs that you go into like, and I don't want to stigmatize North Bergen or whatever, Bergen Line Avenue. You go in, but you know what I'm talking about. You go into
Yep.
some of the nail salons, and in the back they have the Chinese $5,000 knockoff of the $250,000 machine that you have in the med spa, and they claim it's the same thing. We don't know what this stuff is doing to your body. We
Right.
don't know if these people had 1 second of training. Does that bother you? Does that concern you as a physician when you have the equipment that's been tested, it's been approved, and you know how to use it, and then you have people who otherwise take the nail polish off your fingers, no offense to them, and they're doing it for, yeah, give me $50, I'll do it in the back room.
Yeah. Well, in the last few years, it really has become a little bit of the Wild West. And not that I'm, necessarily concerned that every place is like this, but, I felt like there was just a need for a place where, those questions weren't there, and that you just knew you were going to a place that was vetted, by a board certified plastic surgeon who does the research to kind of provide the appropriate care for the appropriate patient, and know that you're in good hands.
That's amazing. By the way, is your training more in surgery, dermatology, or some combination? I'm just curious because I know plastic surgeons come from different backgrounds of medical training, and I'm just wondering which route you took.
Sure. I'm a surgeon by training. Did 6 years of general surgery, followed by 3 years of plastic surgery. And that's the bulk of my practice is plastic surgery, breast and body cosmetic surgery, and breast cancer reconstruction.
Amazing. And that is why you want to go to, and I'm not just because you're on here, you want to go to a person with that experience. If you're going to have somebody cut on your body, especially for aesthetic reasons, you don't want to go to somebody who doesn't have surgical experience like that and training like that. So it's just amazing that you have people in some parts of the country with they were a dentist 2 weeks ago and they want to be a plastic surgeon. There's a reason why you have board certification and training like this. Um, do you think, what would you say, I should say, the majority of patients coming into there, is there one particular treatment they're looking for more than others? Is it a seasonal thing? Like in the summer, are they looking more for skin? Like, I would love to come in and do that. I'm just saying. I lost a lot of weight, doctor, and I have turkey neck. And at 58, this is all that bothers me. Every time I'm on camera, I keep doing this. I want to put clothespins behind my neck. But what are there specific treatments that people are looking for this at different seasons, if you will, or is it
Sure.
just it all depends?
It definitely can be seasonal. A lot of times in the summertime, the surgical schedule kind of gets a little slower as people don't want to recover. They
Right.
want to be at the beach. And so a little bit more focus on things with very little to no downtime, like injectables, Botox and filler, and some skin treatments like facials, dermaplaning. Some lasers are okay in the summer. Some kind of are better in the fall when you're getting out of the summer, and that, some people think of the fall as laser season because, they could be irritating to your skin, especially if
Mhm.
you're like out in the sun all week. So people kind of save those more aggressive lasers for the fall. And then that's when surgery, starts to pick up again. And most of my patients are, just kind of everyday people who saved up their money. A lot of them are moms who are going through, a period of time where now they have a little bit of time on their hands and can focus on themselves. So something like a mommy makeover is something that, I'm known for, is what people, kind of search me out for.
And you work with a lot of celebs too, and we'll talk about that, please. I remember, uh, no matter who you are, celeb or not, it's still surgery. So give yourselves time when you're going to have work done, right? I had a meteorologist I worked with years ago in Miami, and he was getting older, sweetheart of a guy, but I know his contract was coming up. He decided to have a facelift. I think it was
Mhm.
supposed to be a mini lift, and he came back to work way too soon, and his face was so swollen, and he still literally had wounds you could see. And I thought, are you out of your mind? You just stay home, rest, and heal. But he could barely keep his eyes open. And I'm really, you're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's still surgery. Let yourself heal, let yourself rest. And I think too many people think they're going to wake up and it's going to look perfect. It takes months, but your body will heal. And I've seen people a month after surgery and a year after surgery, and it's amazing. A month after surgery, you think it's going to look terrible, and a year after surgery, it looks beautiful. It just takes time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It takes time, and all these things are decisions that shouldn't be taken lightly, and that's something that in the age of social media and Instagram, where, I'm, pretty well known, uh, everything looks very easy. Everything looks like it's a quick, recovery, and that it's just this small thing. All these decisions need to be made, with the proper, foresight and thought, and that they're major operations, and you need to go to the right person for it.
And if you were to start, like for instance, say somebody you hit middle age, and I'm pointing to myself, I'm 58, you hit middle age, and you have the little lines here, and you want a little something. There are ways you can start before you go to the point of surgery, right? You have injectables, you have some of the machines. Do the machines work, or are they just temporary fixes that tone up the muscle layer underneath the subcutaneous, muscle layer there?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, a whole world of what I like to call non-surgical facial rejuvenation, which really involves a few different things. And a lot of times, if you do a little bit from each category, you get a nice kind of natural result without looking overdone. And so those things are like, Botox, which kind of helps get rid of the lines in the top part of your face, here, here, and here. Fillers can then add a little volume where you've lost it, get some of the harsh shadows out of the center of your face. And then things like skincare and then the energy devices both help the quality of your skin itself. So the collagen, organization and just the amount of collagen. And those things all help, smooth out fine lines and texture abnormalities and some color changes like dark spots and red spots. And so there's really a whole world of things that you can do before you get to the point of surgery. I
Mhm.
think it's important to know that even after you do have surgery, these things are important for maintenance. The day after surgery, time marches on. And one thing doesn't obviate the other. They're really best when they're used together.
And there are all sorts of lasers now too, I'm sure. Do you work with the different color and frequency lasers, for the various purposes, right? The different frequencies do different things, some for acne, some for scars, etcetera.
Yes, exactly. They kind of have targets of color, whether they're dark spots or red spots, or if you're trying to get rid of hair, which is a dark follicle, it targets that dark color. And then there's other lasers that are not so much for color correction, but they're for texture abnormalities and smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles, and those kind of work a little bit deeper, and they literally drill microscopic holes into your skin, add a
Mhm,
little bit of heat to make them contract a little bit, creates collagen formation, and then all of that together helps tighten up a little bit of looseness. I would say those don't work like surgery as far as tightening loose skin. It's really more on a subtle spectrum. So it's also important to know your patients and how to manage expectations, and allow them to realize what's realistic. And you can't sell somebody a service promising the world and knowing it's not going to do that. And I think that's a fine line, and it's nice to come to a place that can either offer energy devices or skin removal and everything in between. And when you graduate from needing one thing to another, you're still able to perform.
this is fascinating. I mean, like, for instance, I've gone from 360 to 180 pounds, but I did it slowly over a period of
Yeah.
years. So my skin
Congrats.
is
That's awesome.
Thank you. The skin is okay. I have friends who've done it way more quickly, or I'm sure a lot of the folks have come in with Ozempic weight loss, where they've lost 50 pounds in a period of 8 months. And I'm sure that causes a lot of looseness in the skin. Also, the age of the person, their ethnic background also has a lot to do with it. So it, I'm sure when somebody has skin that is like that, you can't do the little laser. That's where you're talking about having to make a little incision and
E-
pull. Am I correct based
Exactly.
on what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah,
But this is
exactly.
this is why you have the training you have.
Right.
And you clearly know with all your years of experience, this is why people want to go to and need to go to an experienced person. You don't want somebody who will experiment on you. Dr.
Yeah.
Paul Tutela, we got to have you back. We could do whole shows on this because
Thank you.
I'm sure every party you go to, you get pulled over and somebody says, "Hey,"
Yes.
right? It is what it is.
Yep.
Everybody wants to look their best self, and everybody always has that one thing they want taken care of. See that bump on my head right there, doc? Gotta
Yeah.
have that taken
I
care of.
got you.
It's a seroma. I got a seroma. Gotta take care
All
of that.
right.
All right, doctor, how can people get more information? Tell everybody your website. You have like 2 million followers. What do you got on the
Sure.
website?
I'm on Instagram is NJ, or Tutela PS for Tutela Plastic Surgery. That's probably the easiest way to find my work, and a way to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Well, listen, someday we'll meet at the bakery. We'll have a nice cup of cappuccino and a little
Uh,
something light, a little something
I love the
light. All
sound of
right.
that.
Yes, done deal. It is a pleasure having you on. Please come back again, Dr. John Paul Tutela, board certified plastic surgeon based right in East Hanover, New Jersey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.